Hello, friends, and welcome back to the new episode of r/IDontWorkHereLady. Today we have a couple more great stories waiting for us, and if you've worked in a store once, it means you always work in a store. At least that's what our first story Karen thinks. I can't get in your shoes. I don't work here. So I finished working at a sports shop about a month and a half ago. 2 days ago, I went to say hey to my old workmates and get a new pair of shoes. I'm in the store wearing shorts and a jacket, and I start looking at some trainers when I get a tap on the shoulder. I turn around and see a middle-aged woman. She says to me, "You shouldn't be looking at shoes whilst on the job. Get me these shoes in a size 7. Confused, I respond with, "I don't work here, and she should be nicer to people she's being served by." I said it because I know how much a jerk customer would piss me off and how I'd do the job when serving them, like the time I took to get the shoes and if I would lie about if we actually had the shoe in stock. She then proceeds to aggressively tell me that I'm a liar and that I served her in the shop 2 weeks ago, which ironically was a lie, and that I was wearing the uniform. The uniform they had was a t-shirt and shorts, which were different than what I had on. She proceeded to complain to me about how bad of a worker I am and how bad of a representative of the company I was. I then said the manager is near the front of the store if you wish to speak to him, as I will not listen or serve you anymore as you're being abusive and threatening, which is actually the response I meant to give her, by the way. She went over and I thought of the manager of the store who would sort it out. So I went back to grabbing a shoe off the display that I wanted to buy when I hear my manager calling my name and calling me over with the woman looking extremely smug next to him. I come over, trying not to anger myself. He then asked the woman if this was the employee, and she said, "Yeah, that's it." My ex-manager then politely says, "Well, I see the issue here. This is an ex-employee of the business. He worked here over a month ago, so I'll have to ask you to stop harassing this customer as he's entitled to the same service as you." Honestly, I've never felt so smug in my life. She then grabs her bags with an embarrassed look on her face and left the store. I really hate when people go out to purposely try and get someone fired. She may have been having a bad day or something, but it gives her no excuse to treat service workers like that. I bet she went home and told everyone what a horrible store it is and how rude the people who work there are, and completely ignored her part of this. And our second story. No, I can't fetch your kid for you. I was reminded of this today because we have made plans to go to the same location tomorrow. Anyway, here it goes. Locally, we have this giant indoor kids gymnasium. Really cool, and built in such a way that even adults can get in there. In fact, that isn't uncommon to see parents climb in with nervous little ones. At this place, the employees wear brightly tie-dyed shirts. My toddler and I happened to go on a day that a little girl was having a birthday party. All these little girls couldn't have been older than 5. Within a few minutes, it became obvious that not a one of their mothers had any intent of actually watching or helping their kids on the equipment. I quickly had a following of small children that wanted to play with me and have help from the only adult showing interest. Besides, my kid is having a ball hanging out with the other kids. I was a good sport about it, but damn, it wore me out. I was expecting to only have to entertain my own kid, not a group of kids, so I decided to cut the trip short and move on. So I was helping my daughter get her shoes on when one of the mothers approached. At first, I thought she was trying to spot where in the equipment her own child was, but nope, just waiting for me to get done. I'll be me, and I'll just let her be OM for other mom. OM. When you're done with her, I need you to go in and get my daughter. I'm ready to go. I admit I probably sat and stared at her for a good minute. I'm wearing nothing like the brightly colored stuff the employees would wear. It should also be fairly obvious that I'm attending to my own kid, as there is no other adult nearby. OM repeats the same thing again, slowly this time. I tell her, "I don't work here." "You don't work here? I've been watching you run around with the children for a while now. Why would you do that if you didn't work here?" She gives me a look like she's caught me in some glorious lie. Me. To be nice? They were playing with my daughter and seemed a little needy for attention. Honestly, it isn't normal to leave kids so young unattended in there. One of you should have been helping them. She became red in the face after that. I guess she was embarrassed. Whatever, it's not the employee's or other guest's job to babysit your kid while you gossip with your girlfriends. An employee is not always going to realize your kid may be scared and need help or realize one kid has wandered off. So, how am I supposed to get her out then? Go in and get her? It's pretty easy. Or wait until she decides to come down a slide or something. You can't help me? No. You're going to have to go find her yourself. She looked like she was going to die. Not to mention she hadn't dressed for this at all. Sorry, I don't even know which one is yours. Well, thanks for nothing. Like, what the F, lady? I don't work here. I was nice enough not to give your kid and her friends the cold shoulder when they were scared and needed help in the equipment. Sorry you got embarrassed and had to make it my problem. Hope you asked an actual employee because the policy is your kid, your problem to get out of the equipment. Geez, lady, it's a kid's gym, not a daycare. Even if OP was an employee, she's not there to take care of your kid. That's your responsibility. And our third story. You're not security? I'm not security. I was shopping at a local big box sporting goods store. I was first looking in the camping section and noticed an average, nondescript looking guy in unremarkable clothing kind of watching me paw through the camping crap. He didn't have any merchandise or a basket or a cart. I figured he was probably store security. A bit later, I was over in the bow hunting area trying to figure out what all the cool-looking stuff is used for. Same guy was there, kind of eyeballing me, but trying to look like he wasn't. Then again, I was over looking at the ammo reloading stuff. Same guy was there. So I walked up and down a few aisles, and the guy followed me. Now, I was trying to figure out what I did that made security want to follow me. I was in business casual, clean-cut kind of guy. Finally, after about 3 aisles, the guy came around the other side and kind of blocked me. Started making idle chit-chat, but seemed really nervous. Then I noticed that he was looking at my right hip. I carry a concealed handgun there, tucked under my business shirt, but it's a full-size gun, so if I bend funny or reach up for something, you can see the outline of it in my shirt. In my state, open carry is legal, so printing's not really a legal issue, but I try not to let it happen because it does freak some people out. Usually only another person who carries will notice it, though. The guy starts to come closer to my right side where I keep the gun, so I turn away and move my store handbasket to cover the gun to prevent access. After a short do-si-do, he finally says to me, "I know you're security. I saw you following me, so I wanted to give you a taste of your own medicine." Me, laughing, "Oh, I thought you were security." "Nope, I'm just shopping." Guy, "I know you're security, and I'm going to tell everyone." Me, okay. So I continued looking for a bit, but didn't end up buying anything. The guy followed me a short distance, telling everyone within nearby earshot, "Watch out, he's security." Eventually, I dropped off my empty basket and headed for the store exit, passing through the registers. He continued to follow me, calling attention to himself by telling the front-end people that he knows that I'm security. I walked out of the store. He followed me. The alarm went off, and they asked him to come back in with the unpaid merchandise he was carrying. I was parked near the front. I waited around for 10 to 15 minutes to see if he came out, but he didn't. I haven't seen anything in the police blotter yet, so maybe they got it all sorted out. And our fourth story. Towing guy gets confused for an illegal parker. Obligatory, not my story, but my dad's intro. Context. My dad worked for a towing company which had plenty of contracts with property owners to tow heavy vehicles that are parked illegally. Police officers patrol the properties, spot illegal parkers, and call dispatch up, which they call him to tow. My dad drove a 50-ton quick swap with the company's logo on both sides of the truck. Because of the contracts, he's allowed to park on the owner's properties if he needs to rest, plus it provides a good bait for unsuspecting heavy drivers. Now, on to the story. My dad was in a parking lot taking a quick nap since he'd been driving for a while and it was the middle of the night. He gets a call from dispatch saying there was a private property tow that needed to be picked up. He was given the address, which just so happened to be where he was. He got out of the truck, looked around to see no illegal parker in sight, informed dispatch of this, and ended the call. Before he could get back, a police officer then approached him. The following conversation ensues. D is my dad, P is police officer. P, what do you think you're doing? You can't park here. D, yes, I can. No, you can't. This is private property. I've just called someone to come pick up your truck. Yeah, I know you did. I just got off the phone with dispatch about it. I can't tow myself. Yeah, I highly recommend you leave because when the towing company arrives, your truck's going to get impounded. Well, they better wake someone up from day shift because I have the biggest truck in the night shift in the entire company. And now you're being smart. Well, one of us has to be. What do you mean? My dad then pointed to a sign that was at the entrance of the parking lot. Go read out that sign to me. The officer went to the sign and began reading. Reading the sign out loud, commercial vehicles parked without authorization will be removed and impounded at owner's expense. Dad then told the officer to read the bottom of the sign. The officer did just that, then looked at the side of my dad's truck, noticing that the logos match, then realizing the error he made the walk of shame back to his car and left, leaving my dad with a funny story to tell me once he got home that morning. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.